Live from Google EMEA's headquarters in Dublin, this is Leaders Brief. Rethink ROI in the AI era.
Hello and welcome to another Leaders Brief, the show where we share the latest thinking from industry leaders and help you turn them into actionable strategies. I'm Sarah Byrne, Director supporting agencies and investors right here in EMEA.
And I'm Nihal Arthanaika. We are back with you live from Google's EMEA headquarters here in Dublin.
This time, we're rethinking ROI in the AI era. And if ROI is the goal, then measurement is your new obsession. And we're going to help you get there.
Now, coming up shortly, our incredible panel. We have Guy Gobert-Jones, MD of Digital Performance at Omnicom Media UK. We also have Annie Baldwin, data scientist at Deliveroo. And also Carlos Saldana, CMO at Madrid's IE University. Yes,
they'll be talking practical ways to propel your business forward and insights that you can apply today.
More on that lot later. Throughout the show, we want to hear from you, and that's super important. Let us know where in EMEA you're watching from. Send us your questions and your thoughts, and importantly, take part in our polls. Get stuck into the comments box on the right of your screen now.
But first, we want to help you unlock the best AI for the best ROI across your entire business.
Oh, so many vowels, so little time. I know two people who can help with some groundbreaking research. It's Google's Max Minkler and Pablo Perez, everybody.
Hello.
Max, Pablo, you are so very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Now, you guys talk to more than 2,000 marketeers from all different types of companies of all sizes from around the world. And you were trying to understand where they are on their AI journey, right? From AI essentials to transformational change. And I'm curious, what were you trying to achieve with this piece of work?
Well, with this work, we were trying to achieve what we always do as Google, which is to help businesses maximize growth. And what we found in research is that AI is a big unlock to that end. Those businesses in the leading stages of AI advancement report 60% higher revenue growth than those who are just starting out, which is fantastic. The catch, however, is that fewer than 20% of those businesses are currently in that leading stage today.
Wow, okay, so that is concrete business value for AI, but a terrifyingly low number, if I may say so, of companies achieving the growth that they could, right, Pablo?
Yeah, but that's today, right? Where you are right now, where your business is today. But the aim of the research is to get to that 20% as fast as possible, and we're here to help.
Okay.
Now, before the show, we sent round a quick quiz to see how many of your companies are already focused on maximizing the advantages of AI. Now, the answer from our viewers was 60%. So most of you, he says, wagging his finger at you like a teacher, could be doing better. But of course, that is just a temperature check.
Max and Pablo, I think we need to dive into this research. What have you got for us?
Today, what we have is called the UnsAId. So, with this research, we set ourselves a goal. We want AI to become business as usual for you and your clients, so that your company becomes one of those leading the AI charge, and so that you can achieve the 60% revenue growth that those businesses report. To get us there, we need to understand why the AI adoption gap exists. We need to dig down to the human level, because humans are still at the heart of successful AI transformation.
Our research is called the UnsAId because it's about how we think and feel, not what we say out loud. The individual mindsets, core beliefs, and assumptions about AI that we are less likely to express openly, but which are in fact the UnsAId drivers behind successful AI adoption and ultimately leadership. We believe it's a perspective that could significantly accelerate you and your business.
We also map the key areas of opportunity in marketing where AI can drive business growth along the way, from measurement and insights to media, creative, people, and processes. What we found is that there actually is no part of the marketing process where AI can't add value, or a role that AI can't benefit. We spoke to marketing leaders, client and agency side across France, Germany, and the UK. What we feel is unique is the analytical approach that us and the team put together. We gathered a group of language experts, semioticians, organizational change consultants, and business strategists.
We know that research gets more powerful when we observe reality without interfering. This is not your typical AI adoption survey. Rather than taking things at face value, we use discourse analysis, a type of research that looks at the kinds of words people use when communicating. We not only review transcripts of interviews, but pitch materials, meeting agendas, and emails when allowed, so we could see how people talk about AI in real settings. And it turns out that the words we use reveal a lot.
When talking about AI, people feel a wide range of emotions. Some of them feel overwhelmed. Some feel empowered. Others are very cautious. Some are feeling quite hopeful at the moment. Others are skeptical, yet more are worried, and quite a few are very excited about the moment. AI transformation is about building new habits at the end of the day, and the adoption of any new habit starts in our minds.
We noticed 3 different mindsets. The first one is FOMO, or the fear of missing out. It's pure instinct, survival. We feel the urge to be part of what everyone is doing, especially if it's new and popular. But with AI, it has some unintended consequences. Organizations end up conducting projects without a clear strategy. They replicate what others are doing. AI programs are created in isolated departments with no clear coordination towards a common goal. There's a focus on showing that we are not falling behind instead of actually realizing business benefits.
Our second mindset is FOMO, or the fear of messing up. With AI, there's a new level of uncertainty. The fear of getting things wrong thus feels very personal. If we have FOMO, we want to feel in control. by anchoring to the things that we know. We narrow our choices, we can get stuck evaluating, and often our experiments end up small in scope. FOMO is a natural feeling, but taken to the extreme, it can also lead to paralysis.
But here's the good news. Our research revealed a third mindset that is especially prevalent in those 20% of organizations leading the AI charge. This is FOMA, the focus on maximizing advantages. We're not talking about the F of fear anymore, but the F of focus. This focus on AI's benefits gives these companies a distinct edge. When discussing AI, FOMA marketers use words like collaborate, transform, opportunities, and excitement. It's a vocabulary of partnership, of humans working hand in hand with each other and with technology.
FOMA marketers partner with AI. They take pains to learn by doing. They embrace uncertainty. And they proactively add business value by making deliberate and not reactive decisions. And ultimately, they reimagine with AI. They don't just optimize what already exists. FOMA individuals also have a clearly articulated vision and long-term strategy, rather than just jumping on the AI bandwagon out of obligation. This experimental mindset, even if results aren't perfect the first time, is crucial for kicking off transformation.
These individuals go so far as describe AI's effects as life-changing. And if this sounds a little bit motivational to you, it's because it is. After all, this is about transformation. And the key question is, do you truly want to use AI or not?
And that's because FOMA lies in fully disrupting the way we work. A FOMA marketing organization altogether has a clear and strategic intent for AI. It supports and then scales experiments. It combines ready-made and custom tools, and it creates structured AI skills development approaches. But perhaps most importantly, it fosters AI safe spaces, making sure that individuals feel comfortable discussing their personal use of AI as well, because that is very often where the magic starts. So to recap, the business case for AI is clear. It is already driving significant value for companies leading the charge, and we want to help you to join them.
We hope you found this research useful. This is the UnsAId.
Max, Pablo, that was illuminating. Thank you so much. Do you know, I really appreciate that your research drives tangible business impact.
And for everyone watching, if you haven't already taken our 2-minute AI Mindsets quiz, do it now. It's your chance to discover your organization's frame of mind when it comes to AI. Also, lots of you already chatting with us, which makes us all very, very happy indeed. If you're not interacting in the comments box on the AWG page, please click the YouTube link in the bottom right of the stream now to interact with us. And of course, we would love to hear from you.
Max, Pablo, you guys are going to stick around and we'll check in on our viewers' mindset a little bit later on. But for now, thank you so much again to you both.
Max and Pablo, everyone.
Now, Leaders Brief exists to help you maximize growth. And we know measurement and marketing effectiveness is hugely important to many of you. That's why you're here. So today, we're going to give you the tools to build a single source of truth, to help you analyze marketing impact and to guide your decisions, really. Now, right now, I'll bet you're facing 3 big challenges. I'm going to guess you're dealing with signal loss. AI is useless without the right data signals. You're probably also dealing with tunnel vision. And by that I mean chasing short-term efficiency at the cost of long-term value. And I'll also bet you're dealing with conflicting truths. Your multi-touch attribution says one thing, your marketing mix modeling says another, and conflicting maps can feel really paralyzing, right? Your dashboard says you're winning, your MMM says you're losing, your CFO's bank account says you're flat. Yikes. The result is you don't really know what's driving growth, right? You're guessing. We have to change that. I want you to stop guessing and I want you to start knowing, to be able to prove that the next euro you spend on marketing will return profit. And to do that, there's 3 things I think you really need to do. Number 1, you need to upgrade your foundation. You also need to rethink your valuation, and you need to fix your calibration. They rhyme. But this isn't easy. Now, it's not easy, and we do have you covered, though. And I want to see what this looks like in the real world. And to help us do that, let's welcome our amazing panel.
The data scientist who delivers. Introducing Annie Baldwin, a data scientist from Deliveroo, an app-first, tech-driven company serving millions of customers all over the world. On her menu today, incrementality testing, and her main takeaway, see what I did there, maximizing measurement impact. Annie turns data into decisions that scale, and by doing so, epitomizes her company. She delivers. Next up, the AI Whisperer. Introducing Guy Gobert-Jones, MD of Digital Performance at Omnicom Media UK, a company built to help the world's leading brands solve their biggest growth challenges. With over 10 years of performance media experience, Guy utilizes the latest breakthrough tech to solve any business challenge. So, if your objective is to boost your ROI, he's your guy. And finally, the man who means business. Introducing Carlos Saldana, Chief Marketing Officer at IE University. As CMO, Carlos is responsible for the marketing strategies across the university's 6 schools, promoting more than 90 programs in over 80 countries. He's travelled from Madrid to be here today and is advocating for data-led business decisions. So it's fair to say, when it comes to marketing, he's got a degree, or 2 or 3, of experience.
Such an illustrious panel. What a joy it is to have you all here and sit amongst your fine brains. How did you like your intros?
Double thumbs from me.
Double thumbs from Guy. Okay, are we ready to get into a really good chat?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm certainly ready because I really want to absorb all the insights from all of your different and really vital parts of the industry. It is really amazing to have you all here. Guy, I'm going to start with you. As part of Omnicom, which is one of the world's biggest agencies, clearly, what's top of mind for you in 2026?
Well, I think it's fair to say that we're living through a once in a generation, maybe even a once in a lifetime shift in how consumers are searching and discovering information and brands online. Yeah. And that's in no small part powered by some incredible work going on at Google with the likes of Gemini, increasingly powering things like AI overviews, AI mode. But all of these different options that consumers have now also creates a lot of complexity, a lot of different spaces where they can go online to find that information. And with that complexity comes a lot more signals that we can optimize towards, but also a lot more noise.
Yeah.
So really top of mind for me is how in 2026 can we keep our clients laser focused on optimizing towards that signal and not the noise.
I love that framing. I'm sort of imagining interference and you're trying to cut through that interference. So how do you separate the signal from the noise? That's 2026 for Guy. Okay, Annie, big change for you guys, right? So Deliveroo, I believe, was acquired by a leading US-owned platform. And I'm presuming they've come in and have their own way of doing things. And so I'm wondering, as you think about 2026, does that make things more complicated for you? Is that the headline for you this year?
Yes, so Deliveroo was acquired by DoorDash in October last year, which is really, really exciting. I would say it's a rare opportunity to work so closely with another company that does exactly the same as you. So at the moment, we're on a bit of a journey where we are comparing how we run campaigns, how we measure performance, and how we run experiments in marketing. I would say in a lot of ways we're very aligned, but in some we're not. So we're currently rethinking how we're doing things. And that's all I can say for now.
Very coy. Okay. Actually, what a time to talk to you. 'Cause you're just at that pivotal moment now where you're trying to bring through change and form a new joined up culture. So fascinating to see how you're thinking about measurement specifically in that context. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Lots to unpick. Carlos, what's top of mind for you for 2026?
I have a huge list of priorities.
I bet.
I know, I kind of maybe probably more than I should, but you had to pick two. I would say first, everything related to brand awareness and brand recognition, how to measure this reputation. At our university, we have extraordinary students from more than 140 nationalities every year. We run campaigns, brand campaigns and performance campaigns in 80 different countries around the world as well. So, well, you can imagine there's kind of a complex ecosystem. So that would be first. And the second thing is how to optimize the department. No? With this AI era, AI is changing every role of the department. It's changing the way we manage budgets. It's changing the way we measure all the campaigns. So optimizing the whole department is key for me nowadays.
So, I mean, you're describing such an enormous amount of moving parts. Tell me a little bit more about the budgets. You mentioned budgets. How do you think about that?
Well, nowadays, I don't know, like 10 years ago, we used to have a kind of fixed budget at the beginning, and you finish with the same budget. And nowadays, obviously, I said that the budget is liquid, totally liquid, and I feel very fortunate because at IE University, when you see an opportunity, you can go for it, and you can allocate the budget wherever you think it's better. And actually, if we think that something is working, we can ask for more money into the financial department. So, yeah.
So you're saying that if you can prove that with a bit more money you could reach, say, 200% more people, the CFO would give you more budget?
If it is based on data, yes. So that would be the key point. No? So if, we always go with a proposal based on data and with a kind of growth mindset.
Yeah.
That's the way we do it. And I feel very fortunate because I have a good relationship with the CFO, a good conversation with the whole financial department, and they have the same mindset that let's go, let's grow.
That's fantastic. I'd say, yes, you are lucky, but also that's pretty smart. Right? I think just being able to rethink ROI in those terms and fluid budgets and what role they play. So that's really interesting. That's great. So we've got viewers from all across EMEA joining us this morning, and we know the AI adoption varies a lot by country. Like people are starting in different places, and we want to make the path to success for everybody watching this easier as you navigate different markets. Now, Guy, I think this is a morning for exclusives. You've got a sneak preview of something that I think you might be able to help our viewers with.
Yes, it's a regular research bonanza this morning already, isn't it? We've got some of our own really exciting global future of search research coming out in the coming weeks. I'm personally really excited about. A lot of you might be out there sort of thinking, future of search, isn't that just the box at the top of the Google page? It's been around forever. Why does that need more research? But actually, when we look at it, search is not just limited to one single surface anymore. Search is this exploding customer behavior that's happening everywhere. It's happening sort of like in search engines, yes, but on social platforms, video platforms like YouTube, and increasingly inside of these large language models as well. And so when we zoom in on some of those insights that's happening inside of those LLM environments like Gemini, some really interesting insights come out of it.
Tell us.
Across the EMEA region, we see that how people are using AI in their work life is actually driving huge growth in how they're using it in their personal lives as well.
Yeah, I see that. I do that.
Deeply connected, those two things. As well, and Sarah, I hope you'll enjoy this one particularly, we see that consumers who are making purchase decisions off the back of what they are seeing inside of AI are the same people who are already making a lot of purchase decisions off the back of videos that they're watching on YouTube. So those audiences are deeply connected as well.
I do like that. You know me too well.
Good. When we zoom in on some of the sort of like individual, parts of EMEA and some complexity in individual countries as well, some really interesting differences start to come out. For instance, mainland Europe inside of EMEA is already much more likely to say that they are advanced users of AI.
Okay.
But mainland Europe, don't rest on your laurels, because when we ask consumers how they expect their use of AI to grow over the next 12 months, markets like the UK, UAE, and some really interesting growth markets as well, like Mexico and India, are all saying they are going to massively increase their use of AI in that 12-month time horizon.
Okay, so don't rest on your laurels. You've heard it from Guy. So AI is this great leveler, which is amazing, but with that comes more competition. It's open season.
I think so,
right?
yeah.
So watch this space. Now, I really want to hear from our viewers. Tell us, Nihal, what's happening at home?
It's amazing. Now, if you do want to chat to us, remember to click on the YouTube link and you can get chatting away. Now, we have people from across EMEA watching us now, so expect a big boost for your LinkedIn numbers after this. With people watching from London, Madrid, Zurich, Germany, Ukraine, Greece, South Africa. It's absolutely
amazing,
brilliant. And the polls have been really, really busy as well. So we asked, what's top of mind for you for measurement in 2026? Now, the options were setting up first-party data infrastructure, choosing the right measurement tools, running incrementality tests, and calibrating MMMs. Well, here we go. Right, coming in sadly last, calibrating MMMs, 17%.
No.
Running incrementality tests, 23%. Very closely followed by choosing the right measurement tools at 25%. But, and this is the right answer, I think everyone will agree, setting up first-party data infrastructure came out top at 35%.
Do you know, I think that is a very sensible order of doing things. We have a very sensible audience. Okay, so I'm really curious, Annie, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the word measurement?
Yes, so the first thing I think of when I hear measurement is what is the incrementality of our marketing channels. If you don't know the incremental impact of your channel, you don't really know what it's driving and you don't know at what efficiency level as well. So at Deliveroo, we are rigorous about testing. We run experiments in all of our countries, across all of our marketing channels very frequently. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Straight in at the deep end, Annie. Incrementality and testing. There is a lot to unpack. We're going to come back to that, I think, and open up that box in a bit more detail. Definitely. Carlos, how different is marketing in your world, in the academic world?
Oh, it's an interesting question. I see a candidate as a kind of a customer. They are humans, they behave as humans, but it's true that although it's not very well seen in the academic world, talking about customers and clients, they behave like that. So obviously we need to treat them as clients, we need to get their data, but at the end, we have two things that are totally different. The first, we operate a kind of a stakeholder model where we have different stakeholders that are deciding. For example, students, parents, school counselors, even the society. So we need to personalize the messages, the channels, everything in every country actually. And another thing will be like the length of the customer journey and the decision process. It takes so long to decide where to go, what to study. I don't know if you remember when you were trying to decide where to go, but it is a kind of a difficult process, and we need to engage the student and the candidate during the whole process. So it's a little bit different than maybe other impulsive purchases.
You're actually taking me back a step, and I'm now remembering and appreciating for the first time that actually you're absolutely right. I hadn't really appreciated the complexity, but you're absolutely right. I think there were definitely three of us making a decision when I went to university. But that length of that sales cycle, I can see now why you said earlier that brand reputation and brand awareness is so important to you, because you have to stay top of mind through such a long life cycle. That's really interesting. So media effectiveness, and I guess I mean by that proving the value of your media plan, is such a challenge for businesses, for any business. Last year, we released a study called the effectiveness equation, which for those of you at home, I hope you have a copy by your bedside table. And if you don't, Google that today. And it showed that e-commerce brands, for e-commerce brands, media effectiveness peaked when 40 to 60% of the investment goes into brand building, which is interesting, building on what you're saying, Carlos, right? And that brand marketing contributes to both short-term sales and long-term sales. And that might be surprising to some folks listening to this. So Carlos, I'd love to know a little bit more in your industry. Talk to us about those investment levels.
Well, in higher education, reputation is a key asset. So in our case, we invest about 50% in branding, brand marketing, another 50% in performance. So you need to first to be there in the decision process. You need to be selected first, and then you need to work very hard in the engagement process in the funnel. But first, you need to be seen in some way, and to be in this kind of first decision process. So for us, branding and everything related to brand marketing is essential.
It really is essential, and I think it'll become more and more important for everyone out there listening, that you can't just invest in the bottom of the funnel. You have to take this
That's risky.
full funnel approach. Guy, when you stand back and you see that sort of big picture and look at measurement across the board, what's key for you?
I mean, I'm in a real mode of more is more for measurement at the moment. I think there is so many different options that businesses have these days to try and measure the impact of their marketing and their media. And what I think has often happened historically is they've sort of picked, like whether it's their MMM or their digital attribution, they've picked and said, okay, this is the one that we think is most aligned, so let's just do this.
Yeah.
But I think now with the sort of like modern tools available and the way that, architectures and tracking has happened and developed online, a single solution does not work anymore. You need, your MMMs all the way up at the top. You need your digital MTA, digital, data-driven attribution at the bottom, guiding those day-to-day decisions. And you need those, targeted tests, like, that Annie and her team are so good at running, those geo holdouts or conversion lift studies in the middle to prove out where the models align with each other and where they start to differentiate. Not only does that help you get a better overall picture of performance of your marketing, it also helps start break down some of those departmental silos between the different parts of the business that tend to operate in slightly different ways.
Okay, so there's no silver bullet is what we're learning. So I want to just try and recap what you're saying. So let me play back and you can tell me if I'm hearing you right. So that measurement first mindset allows you to see that full picture. And I guess really understanding how measurement tools work together is what drives real growth and enables you to make really confident investment decisions. Now, I know everybody listening to this probably knows the basics, but just in case, let's go over it so we're all on the same foot from here on in this conversation. I think it's helpful to look at it, the three things or the three tools, as sort of navigation tools, right? So number one, you have attribution, multi-touch attribution, MTA, and that really tells you how fast you're moving, right? Whereas incrementality tells you if your engine is actually generating the lift you think it does, whilst marketing mix modeling, MMM, is like the GPS signal, right? That shows you if you're heading towards your business goals, your true north. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay, right. And the thing is, I guess, you don't choose between those things, is what you're saying, Guy, that you have to compare these three things. You have to reconcile them. You have to align them.
100%.
Annie, tell us a little bit more detail in your day job. Like how do you understand these three tools together in a bit more detail?
Yes, so at Deliveroo we use all three tools: attribution, incrementality and MMM. So for attribution, that is like an always on view of performance, looking at the attributed conversions that we get from the platforms. And then we don't take that at face value though. We run many incrementality tests to work out the incremental conversions. So in an incrementality test, you expose some users to the ads and then others you don't expose, and the difference is the incremental conversions essentially. And from those tests, we are able to find an incrementality estimate. And with those, we then feed them into the MMM and we calibrate our MMM models with the incrementality estimates. And we think that all three methods allow us to make confident marketing decisions at Deliveroo. Yeah,
that's so helpful. I don't think we could be any clearer now at this stage. Okay, so let's start to break down the steps in more detail to what it takes to win in 2026. And I want to start with the hard truth, which is about your data foundation. Now, every time a browser updates or a cookie crumbles, you lose signal. Right, and that's not just a technical glitch, that's intelligence that never reaches your AI. So success starts with, I think, a single source of truth, which is your data. Your data is your competitive edge. So marketeers using first-party data to enable AI report a 30% lift in performance. But to use data effectively, you need to build your data strength. You need to make sure that the fuel you're putting into that AI machine is clean. Right? So dirty fuel is not what you want. And so when we think about data strength, we're really talking about connecting data from the critical parts of that customer journey. And that's not straightforward because there's so many parts, right? You have Google, your website, your apps, your physical stores, your CRM, your cloud partner. So we need to make this a bit easier to manage. And at Google, we have a new solution called Data Manager. And Data Manager is your one-stop shop to do all of that. It really is designed to make your data work harder. This stuff is complex. And I guess the ambition with Data Manager is to help you keep that really simple. Guy, in your experience, what's the value of high-quality data?
I mean, Sarah, you've said it very well already. Like, that data is increasingly the fuel that is powering all of our clients' advertising. You know, the AI-powered ecosystem inside the Google platforms that are, you know, turning ads, you know, pounds, euros, dollars into results. It runs on data. I would go even further, and I would say data strength is not just about cleaning that fuel. I think it's what upgrades the fuel to rocket fuel. That's how passionately I feel about it. And solutions like Data Manager that you referenced, like, they really enable sort of like turnkey tick box exercises that live and breathe inside of the Google advertising ecosystem to integrate that data into the ecosystem, making rocket fuel more accessible to everyone, which I think, you know, on the face of it is great.
We're here for
However, like a lot of our clients exist in really competitive verticals, and the idea that their competition can suddenly get so much more effective at the tick of a box or the click of a button by utilizing data from Data Manager can be a little bit unnerving, which is why I think it's great that within the Data Manager ecosystem, we've got things like, you know, use of the API, use of BigQuery that enable those really advanced clients who need to fight to differentiate, to be able to make, you know, quicker, more different decisions inside the data ecosystem through those solutions before they integrate it even into the Google platform.
I think that is such a good point. The need to differentiate is paramount right now. And I guess another way, if I go back to what you were saying earlier, Carlos, around budget, another way to differentiate from the competition is how you run your marketing budget, right? Nihal, tell us more.
Aha, poll number 2. Could flexible budgets benefit your business? You heard Carlos, of course, earlier say the finance team are willing to increase budget, but not all of us possess the charm that Carlos does. So if you don't have that, what is it then? You have to make them see the opportunity for business growth. And that theme, we asked our viewers that question, and yes was the answer. 75% said yes, flexible budgets could benefit their business. Now, we know that not everyone has the luxury of a flexible budget, but a way to unlock it is the use of the right measurement tools. Isn't that right?
It is. It is right. And I think if you speak the language of the finance team, as Carlos says, easier, you can prove that return. But to do that, I guess you have to invest in data in an intelligent way. So Carlos, what can you tell us about the way you think about investing in data strength?
Well, I think I'm totally agree with Guy that the data, it's key, and having everything clean is key. But I think first, we need to talk about strategy, and especially people in my role, like CMOs, we need to think about the questions, the answers that you want to be solved with data, and that's important. So you cannot start like putting data into a kind of architecture if you don't have really in mind what to solve and what kind of decisions you want to make after that. So first I would talk about strategy, and then the data strength means for me having a great data architecture, tools and partners as well. So in our case, we have from Google Tag Manager to GA4, BigQuery and Looker Studio to like collect, structure, visualize the data, and that's obviously essential. And plus the layer with AI, native AI within these tools plus multi-agents. And then I would say, like after this data architecture, to have good expertise internally in your department. So converting this data, these insights into something that could translate into the business. In my case, I'm here to talk about business. So it's everything that we can put from data to growth is essential.
I love how you frame things so clearly. You're such a good teacher. Strategy, structure, people.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. So we know signals are critical to driving higher ROI. And the thing is, it's so simple to upgrade your tag. Like, it literally takes 5 minutes. And we've found that advertisers who configure Google Tag Gateway, for example, see an average of 14% more conversions, which is an absolute ROI winner in a fight for margin. And I think the thing is, things are changing really fast, right? So since we saw you last on Leaders Brief, we've already launched something else called the Data Manager API, which means you can now ingest data from any source directly into the engine, which really transforms what used to be a 6-month engineering headache into a really seamless, automated stream of truth. Who doesn't love the truth? A rare commodity in today's world, but it doesn't need to be. Nihal, what are our viewers thinking and saying?
Well, to paraphrase the rapper Nelly, the polls are hotting up in here. So no, don't do that part of the lyric. Anyway, the poll 3 question is, which solutions are you using for your data strength? Okay. Coming out number 1 with 51% is enhanced conversions. Interesting. Followed then by all of the above, which includes Data Manager and Google Tag Gate, where you'll be pleased to know. Now, an interesting enhanced conversions fact for you, a sentence I never thought I'd hear myself saying. On average, advertisers bidding to conversion value who implement them see an 8% incremental ROAS on Google search campaigns, which is quite the lift. The good news is we have sessions coming up where we'll dive deeper into data strength, so watch this space and click on the YouTube link to continue the chat. Sarah.
Thanks, Nihal. So that's your data strength built. And now I guess we should move on to valuation. How do you rethink valuation? Did the ad really cause the sale? This is where Annie starts to get really excited, because we get to go deep, Annie, into incrementality and the experiments that you run to prove it. Now, I see that most marketeers use incrementality typically as a defense, like a once-a-year lift study to show the CFO that you didn't waste their money. But actually, it should be an offense tool, right? It is more powerful when you use incrementality as offense to find that 36% lift your competitors are missing and use it to unlock the budget, not just defend it. Annie, take us into this in more detail, right? Can you give us an example of how you approached, or you have approached, incrementality in the real world recently with Deliveroo?
Yes, definitely. I love this question. So at Deliveroo, we don't solely rely on platform ran conversion lift study results. And the reason is because, for example, if you think about Google, they run the ads for you and then their measurement team will analyze the results for you using a conversion lift study. So they're essentially marking their own homework. So what I decided to do was create a novel approach where I created my own independent methodology to validate the conversion lift study tool. So what I did was I ran a geo test at the same time as a conversion lift study in one of our countries, and then checked whether I got the same read in both designs. So let me explain what those tests are in a little bit more detail. So a geo test is when you split a country and split the cities into treatment, so they get the ad, and some cities are in control and they don't get the ad, and then you can compare the incremental conversions. And then a conversion lift study is slightly different, where typically you would randomize at a user level. So some users will get the ad, some users won't get the ad, and then the difference will be the incremental conversions that the ad drove. So this is what I did for universal app campaigns, which is a campaign type from Google. And I ran this last year and validated the conversion lift study methodology. And the plan is going forward to annually run a check on the conversion lift study methodology by running a geo test at the same time as a CLS. And then throughout the rest of the year, I'll run the CLS, the conversion lift studies, as like a check-in of incrementality. Because conversion lift studies are so much easier to run, they're so quick. Someone from Google can run them for you, super easy, you get high power, because you've got a higher number of randomization units versus a geo test. So that's what we do at Deliveroo.
That's smart. So you used one to validate the other. It's pretty brave as well.
Yeah, yes. So I had to get buy-in from the business to do this, because as you can imagine with a geo test, you have a huge holdout, you have a huge control, not seeing the ads. So it's typically 50-50. So 50% don't get the ads. So what that means is the business will likely get a drop in their metrics during that. So you could get a drop in new customers during that experiment window. So what I had to do was write in my experiment design, there's going to be this estimated drop in new customers during the experiment when it's live, but what we'll get out of it is long-term confidence in our measurement. So yeah, that's how I got buy-in.
And how many markets did you do it in?
So the geo test and conversion lift study ran in just one to start with, and then we rolled it out to 3 other countries, and we decided to run it in countries where we have the most budget. And then the plan is to run conversion lift studies for 4 other countries that we've never been able to test in before. So it's unlocked a whole new realm of testing for us at Deliveroo.
I just think what you're talking about is so interesting, and it is so on point, right? Not only on a practical level, how you're organising geotests and conversion lift studies and using one to validate the other, but the bigger point, particularly given where you are in terms of a change management program when it comes to measurement, is you're building confidence into the organisation. Like, you're building this culture of curiosity. You're getting the company used to a testing culture. And I see the trade-off, it's not easy to get buy-in to have short-term hits, but the long-term gain is massive because you're buying into a testing culture that then becomes super agile and flexible and can test day in, day out.
Yeah, if you don't have confidence in the measurement, you don't have confidence in the impact. So at Deliveroo, we're rigorous about testing before scaling anything.
Yeah. I think it's such an important shift, but it's a brilliant example. So as Annie would say, don't take our word for it alone. Run the experiment, prove the causality. Nihal, I think Annie is really going to want to know the next results to this poll.
Yes. This poll question is for Incremental Annie, everybody, a nickname that almost certainly will not stick. The question is, have you used incrementality tests in the last year? And it may be close to your heart, but it's about to break your heart. No, said 56% of our respondents across EMEA. Yes, 37%. And 7%, I'm not sure. Now, we know there's no silver bullet for measurement, and it's about working out the right framework for you. But nonetheless, I'd like to get a quick reaction from Annie. Annie, 56% say, when asked, have you used incrementality tests in the last year, they said no. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm a little shocked. I would say please reach out to your data science team if you have one and see if you can run an incrementality test, because if you don't run an incrementality test, you won't know the incremental impact and efficiency of that marketing spend. So please do go for it.
Super important.
And I should mention, we have significantly lowered the threshold to run incrementality tests lately, so it's way more accessible to do this than it ever has been before. Now, in a world of black boxes, how do you know that the numbers on your dashboards are real? You need a reconciled truth, and the solution to that is calibration, which I mentioned much earlier on. And this is where Meridian, our open source MMM, comes in. And Meridian's really interesting because it gives really clear insights across all your platforms, online, offline, TV. It measures the full impact of search and video, and it really acts as that calibration layer. So Meridian helps you turn the three signals into one source of truth, so that you can really plan where you invest your next euro with certainty. But it does feel like an advanced topic, right? And so I'm conscious that you don't have to do this alone. We have assembled a global network of certified Meridian partners, and they're there to help you on their journey. And as if by magic, we have one of them right here on the sofa. Guy, I'm really excited, genuinely, about what Google and Omnicom are doing together. So talk to us from your point of view about Meridian.
Yeah, this is a topic really, really close to my heart. We were really lucky to be a very early partner with Google on Meridian. So we've had a chance to prove it out to a number of our clients already, which is really, really great to see. And I think taking a step back, a lot of people come to MMMs with this historical understanding that they might be great for setting your annual strategy, maybe some quarterly campaign budget alignment or things like that, which is true. MMMs are great for that level of detail. But what we found with Meridian, because of two key things, because inside Meridian, you are using Google supercomputers in the cloud, you can run those models a lot quicker compared to classic MMM. You can also go to a lot deeper understanding than classic MMM often goes to, not just those broad campaign and strategies, but to individual tactic levels across things like audiences, creative, targeting. And what that means is that no longer does MMM have to be something that you only use for those big picture strategic and budget decisions. It actually starts to connect a lot more into the day-to-day, the week-to-week optimization decisions that teams are making inside the Google platforms, which is just something I don't think we've been able to say before.
An example of those tactics, I think, is understanding how individual channels work together, right? And so search and YouTube being an increasingly classic combo. So in MMMs run by TransUnion in the US, that they were running Google search and YouTube campaigns together, they found that they drove a 21% higher return on ad spend versus all other media, which, forgive me, but I think is pretty amazing. And Guy, I guess that makes them the backbone of any strategy. So I'd love to understand, have you seen this combination search and YouTube play out? Is it bearing fruit for your clients?
Yeah. I mean, when I think YouTube, the first thing that jumps to mind to me at the moment is creators.
Yeah.
And in YouTube, a platform completely powered by creators. And inside Omnicom, we've launched our creator proposition, Creo, which is about how we take creators out from being just sort of like a single line on a client's plan up here to starting to integrate across the full spectrum of the media and activity that they're running. And a really good example of this on YouTube is the partnership ads that really, put creative front and center into those ad formats. And we see a 20% improvement in performance when we run those partnership ad creatives alongside the branded ad on YouTube. And that's just inside YouTube alone. But what we also see that is really interesting is the sorts of products and services that those creators talk about also start to become the ones that are sold more frequently via our search and shopping campaigns. And that's when Meridian starts to come into its own again, to start to help us unpick that nuanced impact that things like a creator strategy is having across your broader media mix that was very, very difficult to do before.
I mean, you're describing a superpower. It really is amazing. Not just the speed, but that ability, as you say, to unpick the complexity and the ability to measure creator impact. Like, it's just such cutting edge stuff. So it's really exciting. Now we've one more trip for the polls, or to the polls. Nihal, what have you got for me?
We were going to, but we've run out of time for that particular poll. But we're going to come back.
Okay.
So sorry, we don't get to talk about MMMs at length this time. But we are going to come back to something that Max and Pablo were talking about with FOMO and FOMO in a little bit.
Okay, so we are coming close to the end, faster than I thought, or we thought, which is, I guess, a good thing. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so even though I could inhale the wit and wisdom of this panel all day long, let's attempt to start wrapping up here. Annie, based on what we talked about today, what makes for a good measurement mindset for you?
So for me, it's one thing, which is collaboration. So as a data scientist, I can design and execute experiments to work out the incrementality, but I can't do it alone. I need my marketeers. They may think of things that I haven't thought of. So for example, if I'm planning a geotest, maybe there's another marketing campaign happening in my control that could influence or impact my results. So it is a team effort when designing an experiment.
Collaboration.
Yes.
I love that. Measurement coming front and center in the organization. Carlos, I'd love your key top takeaways for measurement.
Well, let me share my framework, and maybe that can be useful for other CMOs or other leaders. I would say, like, there are 5 pillars. First, strategy.
Yeah.
We talked about that before. Then data strength. Convert this data into signals, using AI to accelerate and to scale these data, these signals into insights, and then to have the right people to convert these insights into decisions, into having or forcing these insights into business decision, which I think is important.
You're at it again. Amazing frameworks. Okay, so strategy, data, signals, AI, action.
Insights.
You need to write a book.
With you and with you guys.
I'm going to buy it too. Okay, Guy, we've spoken about some of the ingredients for a really successful integrated measurement system today. Integrated being the key point, I guess. What's important for you? What are you going to leave us with?
I'll take the opportunity to plug once more data strength. I really do think that is the rocket fuel. But I think what I want to finish with is this idea that, we've talked about all of the weapons in your arsenal for a complete end-to-end measurement framework, from your MTAs, your geo tests, and all the way up to your MMMs. That ecosystem is only going to work for a business if it is connected to a learning framework that sits around it. How you are taking the insight and the understanding that model gives you, using it to break down silos in your organization, to put that understanding into the DNA of your business. And that's what translates all of this work into tangible business results.
That is an inspiring thought to leave us with. So before we say goodbye, I'd like to bring back in Max and Pablo, who brought us their brilliant UnsAId AI research to see how our viewers' organizational mindsets are going on. Nihal, can you furnish us with the result of that poll?
I can indeed. Max and Pablo, I hope you're ready for this. What's the result going to be? So you've identified your own organizations, those of you watching, as 40% actually, and this is good news, focus on maximizing advantages. Then it's fear of messing up on 34%. And finally, thankfully, 24% fear of missing out. There you go. Surprised by those results?
Well, fascinating. First, I'd say to everyone already operating in the FOMO mindset, well done. You're ahead of the curve. But for the majority, based on the results, that are still in that tug of war between the fear of missing out and the fear of messing up, which we all are at times, I would say lean in to the uncertainty. I would say as often as possible, learn AI by doing. And to also then step back and try to fully reimagine your workflow and what you do using AI. That is a route to embodying that FOMA mindset and really capturing the value of AI for your business.
On that excellent note, well, right, that's it. Thank you for joining us. So many actionable insights from our brilliant guests during today's show.
Max and Pablo explored how operating at the leading stage of AI can achieve 60% more ROI.
And not forgetting our incredible panel. First, Carlos showed us the benefit of data-led business decisions.
And then Annie shared what advanced incrementality testing has done for Deliveroo and how anyone can get started.
And Guy described how rethinking your measurement framework overall and fostering closer collaboration between teams can ultimately improve your ROI. Now, don't forget there is a treasure trove of resources on Accelerate with Google to power your long-term growth.
All you have to do is head to the landing page now, where you can also sign up for our product focus events or scan the QR code on your screen.
We have really enjoyed spending this morning with you. So have a brilliant rest of your day, and we'll see you very, very soon.
All right.